Good job today, man. It's one at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Mr. Primetime.
How you doing?
Happy Frozen Monday.
I am freezing still. Just got home a half hour ago, walked a mile and a half in 3-degree weather, so I am frozen solid right now, but 2 weeks left. So
2 weeks left. That's right. Merry Christmas to everybody. We are 2 days away from that. Happy holidays. Thank you guys for joining us during another miserable season, which it's we had a Ben Ulbrich sighting yesterday. Very, very, very rare sightings. We have a loss Monday. Those are pretty much our normal proceedings.
People seem to enjoy those a little bit more than the Victory Mondays.
Very true. Very true. So there's a lot of things we could talk about today, Primetime. We could talk about Olu's injury. We could talk about Fireman Ed. We could talk about Aaron Rodgers on McAfee. We could talk about Ulbrich. We could talk about Garrett Wilson. Tonight you decide.
Well, none of it's positive, so I really don't care which direction you want to go, and it's going to be angry no matter what. So
we can air some grievances. We can do whatever we want.
Random man has grievances. I'd kind of like to hear those.
Yeah, we'll take plenty of calls. We got to GoFundMe for Primetime's heat.
Heat is on, but I'm still freezing. If you've been outside today, it is no joke, man. It is
cold
out there.
It is brutal out there. So I guess we'll share the link because I haven't done that yet. People want to come on and share their airing of grievances. I guess let's start. What do you want to start with? Let's start with the Garrett Wilson scenario, which to me is becoming bothersome for a variety of reasons. But as the season has played out, especially after the Davante Adams trade, he's becoming increasingly frustrated. He's wide open, not getting the looks, a lot of missed opportunities in a year that, he's getting ready to head into a contract year soon. And to me, he's part of the answer for the Jets. He is a young nucleus who literally hates losing, great work ethic, great mindset, not being properly utilized, tired of losing, most importantly. And now I think he feels like he's being alienated, which bothers the hell out of me, dude. Your thoughts?
I completely agree with you. I mean, he's the one guy that should be a building block for years to come. I know we've had guys that we've anointed too soon in the past, like Jamal Adams and players like that. But I mean, over the past decade, has there been anybody that you've rooted harder for as a Jet than Garrett Wilson? Like, the guy's all about it on the field, off the field. You need more of Garrett Wilson's in that locker room if you actually want to turn this around. And so just to see his demeanor, his body language, all the quotes and everything else, it's frustrating, and it's sad too.
Yeah, it just seems like he's just waiting for 2 more weeks before the inevitable trade. I think he's gonna request a trade. I just do. I think
he can request it, but the Jets still have his 4th year, then the 5th year option plus 2 years where they could still franchise him. So they technically still have 4 years of leverage where they could use that to their advantage.
Oh, you can play all kinds of games with him, but once you lose a player like that, it becomes like, I don't want to be here anymore. That's why the hiring of this next regime is so important, because you've got to sell these young players your vision of blueprint of winning. Because if you hire a guy that can't talk or bumbles and stumbles and you're like, not with the guy I'm looking for, it could be a mass exodus here, dude. Guys aren't going to want to be here.
Do you think the right GM and head coach would ultimately repair that relationship with him and the organization and build that trust back, or no?
Yes and no. I think it
there's
could.
More to it. There's still the quarterback. There's the offensive coordinator. There's a number of different issues that we still have here.
I think there's a big part of this, and you nailed it. It's like, all right, you bring in, for example, Dimitroff and Vrabel. All right, I got you guys can win. Yep. But we're going to bring back Davante and Aaron Rodgers too. All right. Not so sure I like that, because I already know how Aaron's treating Davante. I know my role in this offense. But do you have faith in the next offensive coordinator saying, listen, we need to change this up. We need to hold Aaron Rodgers a lot more accountable where we do spread the ball around. We do maximize a great resource that we're not using now. Like, is that a possibility? Like, Aaron Rodgers is the X factor with that, man.
But even if he does have a level of trust in Aaron Rodgers, what if he doesn't have trust in what the plan might be the year after?
Yep. Well, that's
something to consider also.
And that's the big thing, because you're saying, you know what, I want to sign a 5-year contract. If I know my first year's Rodgers and my next 4 years are to be named, I'd rather be traded to a team that has Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or even teams in the NFC. But you know what? I want out. I want to win. I want stability. I want to have a Pro Bowl career, potential Hall of Fame career. I know it can happen with the resume I'm putting up right now. So.
And he deserves that opportunity. I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, I'm not a big believer that I feel like it's going to happen. I haven't been very optimistic, about the GM or the head coaching search, more just because of my, lack of trust and ownership. So, with all the stories that have come out, can anybody really blame Garrett if he just wanted to separate from this? I hope the next hire is right and, kind of reel him back in. But, player only has so many years in the NFL, and he's already wasted 3 of them here.
Yeah, I mean, and this is, Rodgers is playing for stats, Garrett's playing for wins. I mean, yesterday was not a good look on many levels for this team. And to me, Garrett is a guy that I just want to keep. Like you can make a case, Breece Hall running back, if you don't want to pay him, I understand it. To me, Jermaine Johnson, definitely want to keep him. Because when they lost him, the defense lost their heart and soul, it seemed like. He was like an emotional, fiery leader. He's a guy you want to keep around. Garrett's a kind of guy. I'm curious to see Sauce with a much stricter coach with a lot more discipline. You could bring him back. So those are 3 guys, like your young nucleus, obviously Quincy Williams, all these guys. But it's just the Jets have waited so long for a very good young receiver. You now have one in the building, and I don't want to jettison him. Like, you got to find ways to repair all these damages, and it could be having to do with Rodgers, the coaching, whatever it is. But somebody's got to figure it out and clean it up fast, because you don't want to lose this young nucleus. That's the only way you can turn this thing around.
That's what I've been saying, though. Like, for next year, if you try to rebuild and tear it all down and you're not a wild card contender at least next year, the possibility of all these guys wanting to come back, I think is very far-fetched. If you're going 3-4 years without any playoffs when you enter the NFL, when a lot of these guys are from winning organizations in college, they've experienced winning their entire lives, to go and be a part of this, why am I signing a long-term extension here?
They've witnessed the worst of the New York market now. They've literally been through it all in terms of terrible coaching, media coverage, fans hating on them, can't sell tickets, empty stadiums. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. They've witnessed it all. And now it's like
ingrained in our culture. Absolutely.
Right. So now it's like, all right, I need to turn the page. Can the next guys we hire, can they do that for me? Or like, you know what? I'm based on how this is going, I don't even want to give them a chance. There could be some guys in this room that's saying, you know what? I don't even care who you hire. I want out of here. I'm tired of the owner. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I just need a fresh start. I need to rebuild while you rebuild your organization, I need to rebuild my career elsewhere. That could happen too, dude.
In Garrett Wilson's mind, listening to his comments today, it kind of sounded like he felt like LaFleur might have actually been the guy, and they still got rid of him anyway. So it's like, even if they do get the hire right, does Woody Johnson stay out of the way and allow his football people to do what he hired them to do?
And now that's where my angle comes into this is at the end of last year, everybody, including me and you, were saying Hackett's got to go. Hackett is terrible. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. It's about you're a terrible offensive coordinator. Keith Carter, not a good line coach. We said all these things, but they kept them for a reason. Aaron Rodgers. That's my guy. Got to keep him. We can work this out and fix it. When the guys in the locker room that played in the system knew it sucked. They knew it wasn't going to be well. Even though Rodgers was there, they were on the field experiencing it firsthand. Like, this is terrible. We are not well coached. This is not going to work. Now they trot it out again this year. Same results. Where now they're like, you know what? Listen, A-Rod, we like you, but your boy is killing us. And now we're considering you two are a tandem now. So now both of you are the problem because you're making us run this offense that we know is not going to work.
That's fair.
That's how it, dude. No, according to every report you read, Rodgers was the only guy. Be patient, stick him there. Instead of firing him, they demoted him. They kept him in the building.
I think he also felt that he could make the offense work, and now he's realizing that he can't. So it's like,
but they knew that last year.
Back next year, we know it's not going to be with Hackett and with Downing. It's going to be with a completely new offense that he'd have to be open to and willing to learn. So.
I think those guys knew last year it wasn't going to work, dude. And they're like, Rodgers, like, no, trust me, believe in me. And they're like, the season starts, you see more of the same. You're like, all right, man. And now, so then you have that. Yeah, Rodgers not playing well. So it's just a mess on that side. So Garrett is concerning. Then, the Rodgers thing, he's smart because now he's saying all the right things. I'll take a pay cut. I'll mentor a new guy. It's almost coming off like he's like, it's like he's putting the Jets in a position to look bad. Like, I just think they're just doing that.
The Jets do that all on their own. I mean, Rodgers doesn't have to say anything, and the Jets are going to find ways to make themselves look bad. But
he's paying him into a corner. Like, no, I want to stay. I'll take less. I'll mentor. Kind of putting every angle out there. But just it's going to be like, oh, the Jets released me. I can't believe it.
That's our team leader. That's what he came here to do. Took a pay cut when he got here. He's here to finish the job. One more year.
And the interesting thing is it's fascinating to see a lot of these top media guys. The Jets got to get Vrabel. Like, they're painting a picture where it's Vrabel or bust for the Jets. When I think a good portion of them know he's not coming here. So it's almost setting the Jets up for failure. Like, oh, they got again, or they're not doing. No, there's a very good chance he doesn't want to come here for a variety of reasons. A, better jobs out there. B, he may not work for Woody Johnson, which a lot of places may not want to. Or C, they may not have the general manager that he wants to work with.
But what was the Jets sales pitch then? Like, what options did they give him or present him for, the potential GM? What contract did they offer? Did Woody Johnson give him a blank check? Like, all these things that Woody Johnson hasn't done in the past, like, that's what I care more about. If he actually goes the extra mile and Vrabel says thanks, no thanks, okay, fine. But is he willing to do that? Is he willing to give up that control to somebody that's a legitimate power CEO kind of head coach? That's what they need.
But I think it's just funny that it's like they're painting this picture where it's like Vrabel is the only legitimate option for the Jets. While he's a very good candidate.
The best option, though. No?
Depends. We got to see once it comes to the season's over. There's always a surprise firing or two. See who the final candidate list is and then go from there. But
of the names that are out right now, who would you place above Vrabel?
I mean, I like Gruden, dude. I know people don't like him. I like Gruden, but Gruden's not an option according to whatever. They're not. They don't like him or they're not interested.
Let's pretend everybody is an option that's available right now. Would you put anybody above Vrabel?
I think I think Flores and Vrabel are equal, and then I'd say Gruden's ahead of him. I put Gruden ahead of
Flores and Vrabel are equal.
I think they are. I mean, they're both only going to be as good as our offensive coordinator.
Accomplishments, though. Haven't we been saying for years we want somebody that's actually kind of been there and done it and had some proven success?
Yeah, I agree. No, listen, I like Vrabel. I just think that we'll see. I mean, I'm not giving him full power of the organization. To me, he's not on the Harbaugh list. He's not a Sean Payton.
That might be what it takes in order to get that kind of guy, though. If you're not willing to give him that control, he's probably going to say, "Yeah, fuck off. I'm going to take a job somewhere else."
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, I'm still.
You might have to be willing to do that in order to get that guy, and this is the time to do it. So,
surprised both your first options are defensive head coaches. Seems like typical Jets move. But you know what? I want to answer this. It's not about being a defensive coordinator. It's about being a leader of men. It's about having a program of accountability, respectability, and discipline. It's about knowing how to run an organization, how to put together a quality staff. It goes a lot further than saying he's got a defensive background. Can he run this team? Can he Galvanize this team that's completely dysfunctional? You could be an offensive genius, Adam Gase, and look what happens. Doesn't make a fucking difference. You've got to be an excellent, great head coach that can be a CEO of the team that desperately needs it. Doesn't matter offense, defense. You got to be a great coach. That's what it is, right?
And you've got to be able to hire great coaches and bring in a great staff.
100%.
If you're a defensive guy, you've got to be able to find that offensive coordinator who can mentor your quarterback, whoever that's going to be.
Yeah, like what there was a couple years ago. I would have sold my soul for John Harbaugh. Sold my soul for him in a heartbeat. Don't care. Yep. Jim Harbaugh, no problem. Do it. Doesn't matter.
And that's where they really screwed up the last 2 years, having opportunities potentially at Harbaugh and Sean Payton, and they just stuck with Saleh.
So you have the Aaron Rodgers stuff, the Garrett Wilson stuff. I'm not even going to pick on Jeff Ulbrich because he's going to get fired.
Why?
Because he's going to get fired. We know he sucks.
Okay.
We know he sucks. We've known he sucked for months now. Like, dude, he's not a head coach. He's basically a puppet and a punching bag. That's all he is. Like, he's so far in over his head. What do you want to do? Fire him and give the job to who? Middleton, Boyer? Like, what are you going to do?
I'm not saying fire him, but I mean, it's pretty embarrassing that he had for 2 weeks in a row, and you can even go to the overtime game also, where he had no clue that the game was over, and then he scores too soon last week, almost blows that one, and then 2:34 left. I mean, he's actually trying to run a play on 4th and 4 when they need 2 scores anyway. They take the delay game, they miss the field. I mean, that whole 2.5 minutes was just every reason why he shouldn't be a head coach. again, I'm with you. I'm not mad at him. He never should have been put in this position anyway, but he's just so far in over his head. It's
And
sad to watch.
they're just poorly coached in general. I mean, they're just a complete unmitigated disaster. And they're like the whole team has a part in this. Joe Douglas has a part in this. Salah has a part in this. Woody, Ulbrich,
Yep.
everybody. They all at some point contribute to this terrible season. So then you have, that's the on the field stuff. And then you have, what I hate? What I've learned over the last couple of days is I never realized how many people that have a platform when it comes to the New York Jets don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They talk about things that they do that they read the headlines, they read the first paragraph of an article, and they think they know the Jets, and they don't. Whether it comes to on the field stuff or off the field stuff. Case in point, the Fireman Ed stuff. They have absolutely. I listened to WFAN today, and they literally embarrassed themselves thoroughly because they don't know what in the hell they're talking about. And sadly, what happens is people take that incorrect news and regurgitate it as fact, and it's not fact. And that's embarrassing. But that's the world we live in. Let's not be educated. Let's not know what we're talking about. Let's just throw bullshit against the wall, let it fly, act like we know what we're doing so we can get clicks and hot takes and all these retweets. And it's pathetic, dude. The Fireman Ed stuff is absolutely ridiculous. It is. This is the Jets being the what do they call insecure, incompetent organization that they are, and we've dealt with this in the past ourselves, where if you talk badly about them, what are they going to do? They're going to take away your access, or they're not going to give you this, or they're going to make life very, very difficult for you because they don't like bad publicity. So now one of their biggest fans, the guy that travels the entire world going to Jet games, having Jet fan parties, taking endless selfies, doing Jet chants all across the world, England, here, wherever the games are, he's there. Going to charity events, doing all kinds of great stuff that drastically improves the game experience, where I've been going to games for 25 fucking years. And the only guy that ever rocked that stadium is Fireman Ed. And that's just the facts. No disrespect to Scott and Jetman. I like them both. I know them both. Really good guys. Ed's that guy. For the things that people are saying today and the way the Jets are treating him is laughable because the Jets are insecure, dude. They don't like people talking bad about them. They say, you know what? We're going to give you the attention. We're going to help. You're going to let you lead our stadium that we desperately need because it's a ghost town and just a zombie land. But now that you spoke badly about us, or now there's things going on, we're going to just kind of maybe change it up a little bit. What a joke, dude. They're a joke. They are. Ed deserves better, dude. He really does.
He deserves much better. And we saw that building for 4 years without him when he wasn't leading the chant. It was terrible.
They did the drum line crew.
They tried all sorts of shit.
A fan of the game.
Listen, I'm a lifetime season ticket holder, and a big reason of that is obviously for Ed. For those that know, like I was 2 sections over from him as a kid. Like you felt the energy up close, and like he was always somebody that you looked to as soon as you got to your section. He makes the game experience great. Like, and ultimately, like if you're a fan, you want home field advantage. And
you know what it is?
Nobody rocks the place like he does. Scotty, Jetman, like you said before, they're great guys, but they don't rock it the way that he does. If you want a legitimate home field advantage, you want him up there doing his thing. If you think you can do it better, you get up there and you do it. Nobody else can do it like he does. That's just
and the funny thing is, people that say shit like this don't go to games. They haven't been going to games 20-something years. You just haven't been. Because we literally, when he's not doing, the place is a morgue. There's nothing. And there was times when they went away from that, and then he would be doing it in his section by himself with no camera. We were there. I was sitting next to him, and he was rocking it in his section. People going crazy. It's just of all the things for the Jets to worry about, this is how petty they get, and they wonder why people talk shit about them. Like, they deserve it. They literally deserve it. They are so goddamn insecure about so many things. You know what we need to worry about? Winning football games. That's what you should be worried about. Not what celebrities at the game to give them some bullshit jersey they're never going to wear. Not all these nonsense little one Jets drive things. Nobody cares about that.
But
they care about winning.
That's what they care about, though. They care about their social media teams and One Jets Drive and all their different posts and all the different highlights and different angles of Garrett Wilson's 3 catches and everything else. They care about all the things that don't fucking matter, including.
Actually, Mindy, you're wrong, bro. You're wrong. Ed is not a cheerleader. We can agree to disagree. Because I'm not gonna discount him for what I've known for 20-something years going to the stadium. I'm just not.
And not even just in the stadium, the stuff that he does off the field, the time that he gives back to people, the pictures he takes and everything else.
All the charity events he goes to.
If you've ever sat and watched him during a game also, the amount of pictures and the amount of time he takes to talk with kids and other fans, like if you're hating on him, you don't know. You just don't know the facts, period. Like
the guy can't even tailgate, dude.
Topics, but yeah.
We go to his tailgate to say hi to him. He's endless, taking pictures, doing that. People can't wait to do a jet chant with him. He goes in the stadium and changes the atmosphere because without him, it is dead. People are sitting there looking around like, what am I supposed to do? Who's going to do the chant? And everybody knows who he is and what he does. It's just different. If you don't think so, you just don't know. So you either don't go to a lot of games or you're reading what you think you know off of some people making it. They're just not true. So whatever. This is the Jets being the Jets. If you don't agree with us, I genuinely don't give a fuck. It's just ridiculous with how the Jets are handling him.
I think we should bring it back to the old days with dueling chants, where he does his chant when they're not showing it on the screen, and we'll see which one's fucking louder.
Yeah, the thing is, and like, listen, winning does create an atmosphere, but when you're spending $150 a ticket watching a mediocre thing, at least have some kind of statement about it where you can actually enjoy it instead of sitting there in silence while you're surrounded by opposing fans.
And that's the thing that hooked me for life as a kid. My first games were from my very first game was 1993. I didn't see a playoff game until 1998. At that point, I was already hooked. It wasn't because the team was fucking good. It was because we had 80,000 fans, same people in my section every fucking week. You knew everybody. You knew everybody's family. You were doing your chants. You had a great atmosphere. Same guys were drunk every other week. Like, it was a phenomenal atmosphere to be a part of. That's what got me hooked. That doesn't exist right now. And it hasn't existed since they've moved to MetLife. My
entire family is Giant fans. My dad couldn't get Giants tickets, so he got Jet tickets. He's like, well, you know, he wants to go to a game. Let me bring him to a game, just an NFL experience. Dude, I heard the Jet chant. I was hooked. I'm like, this is awesome. This stadium is loud. It's rowdy. Like, I want to be a Jet fan. My dad's like, are you serious? Like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no, this is cool as hell. That's what got me hooked as a kid. And then it was like all this stuff. I mean, dude, I'll tell you what, Dante, $150 a ticket. For the home opener, I paid $200 a ticket, face value for lower level seats. That's face value, dude. The prices are insane, and you get no return on your investment. So
it's the last 4 games that I wasn't even able to sell.
Bro, it's crazy.
Nobody took them.
So now you have all that. The GM search continues, and then you see what happens in 2 more weeks where they can actually, once the season's over, they can interview more general manager candidates, and you go from there. But there's a lot of things concerning right now with the players that how they feel.
I really hope this doesn't drag on for another 3-4 weeks with the GM search. I mean, like you've been saying, if other teams are starting to interview for their head coaches at the end of the season, and we're still trying to figure out the GM, that could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's the timeline bothers me. It genuinely does. Like, you almost wish they would fall in love with a Dimitrov or somebody. Like, you know what, we love the guy, but you know what's going to say is, well, some fans will say, we didn't interview Agnew, we didn't interview Dorsey, we didn't interview so-and-so. Like, they want to make sure they cover all their bases. But while you're doing that, other teams are interviewing head coaches. Vrabel could be gone by then. He could literally be gone by the time you guys figure it out. So,
and I know you disagree, but to me, the head coach is so much more important than the GM. I know some people might say they're equal or whatever, but like, to me, we need that leader in the building, in the locker room to really change this shit.
Here you go right here. Was there yesterday and definitely saw a difference of Ed not getting on the screen. It's just different, man. And listen,
for 4 years, I went to every single game that he wasn't leading chants during that period where, he was still going to games, just not leading the chant. The home atmosphere was fucking terrible those seasons. It was awful.
And this is the one thing too, when people call in tonight, this is the question I'm going to be asking everybody. My personal belief is Vrabel's not coming here. I will stick to it. I don't think it's happening. I just don't, for a variety of reasons. So if that's not happening, tell me your next 3 candidates. That's what I'm curious to hear, because then it's going to be like, well, everybody wants these experienced head coaches until you see the list. All right, experienced guy, offensive guy, that's your cat, Arthur Smith.
I don't know if Vrabel ain't happening just because knows the answer. I think Vrabel wouldn't happen only if Woody Johnson doesn't go the extra mile to make it happen.
I think what if he gets a call from the Jaguars? I'd rather coach the Jaguars.
Okay, so what's the offer to go coach in Jacksonville? Let's say
what I'm saying is, but if the money's
money talks, though, you would agree?
I would agree.
Okay, so if Jacksonville's offering him a 6-year contract for $40 million, you go 10 years, $80 million. Is he going to turn that down?
Will Woody Johnson do that?
At some point, he fucking has to.
Dude, I'm with you.
At some point, he fucking has to.
But if the money if the money's equal between the Jets and the Jaguars, I'm going to the Jaguars.
The money shouldn't be equal, though.
But I'm just saying, in the world,
equal.
But okay, if the money is close and it's Jets Jaguars, I'm going Jaguars. Jets Bears, I'm going Bears.
Make it close. Don't make it close.
Dude, I would be shocked if Woody Johnson does that.
That's what it's going to take, though. Otherwise, who's coming here? Who's trusting him?
That's the question. That's my question tonight. Is all right. If Vrabel doesn't happen, who's your answer?
The same Jets tax that we talk about every year in free agency, you've got to apply that tenfold to whoever your top head coach candidate's going to be, and make sure he fucking comes here.
Aaron, listen, I love Aaron Glenn. I'm probably one of his biggest fans when he was a Jet. I had his jersey early on, signed, got it from Crosby's, whatever the place was called. As a diehard fan of Aaron Glenn, I don't want him to come here because I don't want him to ruin his Jets legacy by coming here and get run out of town in 3 years. That is my biggest fear. He's too good of a dude.
But the fact that he saw that transition from Kotite to Parcells, and it seems like he possibly wants the job to come back here, that gives me a little bit of hope that he kind of knows what he's walking into, and maybe he is up for the job. But
I think he's going to the team playing tonight. The Saints.
Saints?
Yep.
Can see that. He started there, right? As a coach?
Oh, he's with the Cowboys. He's with all kinds of teams, dude.
He was
how is he an awful choice? I can't do this tonight.
I mean, from the perspective of first-time head coach on the defensive side of the ball, yeah, I think that's probably what we all.
But it doesn't matter what side of the ball it is. It's a matter because he's only going to be as good as offensive coordinator. Guess what's going to be? What if Rex Ryan came here? Guess what he'd be? Only as good as offensive coordinator. Brian Flores,
not a first-time head coach though.
Right, but that's going to be any a lot of these coaches though.
No, it's not.
A lot of the coaches, dude, are only
not Vrabel,
staff.
not Gruden. You got guys out there that have head coaching experience.
We'll see how many come here though. I think Vrabel definitely wants one of these jobs, and he's going to take the one with the best quarterback. That's what I think. Why wouldn't you? That's the best chance to win as soon as possible.
Make him an offer he can't refuse.
All right, so we got my choices. If we can't get Vrabel's Gruden, Stefanski if fired, Brian Flores. Kingsbury's interesting. Yep. He's probably got ties to the Bears too. He's definitely interesting. I think
the Niners have to make a move with Shanahan, though. I mean, they're just falling apart right now.
Yeah, that's because you want that.
They got to part ways there.
But knowing the Jets, Shanahan will become available, and then they won't pay the money for him.
Yeah, or Saleh probably gave us a bad review. He's gonna be like, no thanks.
All right. So what do you want? Do you want voice of reason? Do you want chaos? Do you want tanking? What do you want for our callers?
Oh no. Let's go with voice of reason to start.
Voice of reason? All right. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on, guys.
Bubs is like, wait, me?
He's like, I don't have no reason.
Happy holidays. Hopefully,
Merry Christmas, man.
Yep, you too. Wish this team could deliver a little bit more than 4-11 this time of year, but here we are.
Here we are again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens these next couple weeks, especially with the
Garrett Wilson stuff's the most alarming thing.
Yeah.
Man.
No, yeah, it is. It's very alarming. I mean, last year, he made the comments about how it was the worst year of his life. This year, you see, that started with the Samini podcast about how people around him feel like he's going to request a trade. And I agree with both you guys. I think the biggest thing is going to ultimately come down to who the head coach is. And then the minute, he hears him speak and stuff, like, does he buy in? Does he buy into what his message is, what his, vision is for the team moving forward? And also, like you said, who's the offensive coordinator? Because you could have a great head coach. You could have Vrabel come in here. If he doesn't hire the right offensive coordinator, they don't get the right scheme for him.
He could keep Todd Downing.
He could. He does have the connection to Tennessee, but that would be a disaster. You got to blow.
Could you imagine?
There can't be.
Can you picture that? Everybody's so happy. No, everybody's so happy. Jets land Vrabel. Yes, kid, this is awesome. We're back. We're rebuilding. Yep. And he's keeping Carter and Downing.
Well, yeah, Carter too, another Tennessee connection. It's a good point. And the running backs coach, Tony Dews, right? I think he came over from there as well. Keep them all. Keep Brant Boyer, special teams coordinator. Yep. Keep them all. Yeah.
Brings back Zerline.
Yep. Oh man, that would be same old Jets if that happened. But no, yeah.
I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
So does Aaron Rodgers' willingness to now take a pay cut and mentor, and rumor has it he's willing to clean the parking lot after the game too. That's what I've heard. He's willing to help his teammates, if it snows, shovel out their cars just to come back next year. Does that make a difference for you?
I just think he's just saying all the right things right now, personally. And
Yep.
to me, it's going to come down to I don't know. I don't see a whole willingness of him wanting to change systems, change schemes at this point in his career, 41 going to 42. He's saying all the right things because, like you guys said, he's going to try and make the Jets look bad.
Yep.
He said it today, right? I've never been released before, but if they release me the day after the season, then it is what it is. It happens. Like he's looking like the good guy, take a pay cut, all this stuff. So I don't believe half of what he's saying. It's all just to try and make
posturing.
him. Yeah, exactly.
I guess you haven't watched the Netflix doc yet, have you?
I have actually watched. I've seen the two.
There you go.
There
you go, Bubs.
I've watched 2 of the 3 episodes.
Oh, so you didn't see the whole thing yet?
I haven't seen the whole thing. No, I still have to watch the 3rd, but it's interesting.
Do you think it's just him kind of just trying to sell his story? Then you're not buying the words that are coming out of his mouth.
What, like the Netflix doc or the comments today?
No, with the Netflix doc. You think that's just him trying to sell people on what he is instead of it being genuine?
Yeah. I think it. I mean, I don't know. It's just who he is.
You know what the equivalent is?
Weird.
It's like Saleh acting like a tough guy in Hard Knocks. The F-bombs, the fiery, all this stuff. So when the cameras are on, he does all this. The minute the cameras are off, he's back on the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, it's
same shit.
How could you not be inspired by his rehab story?
His ayahuasca retreat
before the Chiefs game. Come on.
It's a great speech.
I had chills listening to that.
Because you want to believe him. You see, prime time.
There
is a problem. You're desperate. You're desperate for a savior. You're looking for any little thing to hang your hat on. Any little thing. But then you see through it. You can literally see through it, though.
I'm assuming you've seen all the. You watched it, Tyson? Have you yet or no?
I watched the first episode so far.
Yeah.
I fell asleep in the second one because I was just bored.
Yeah, the second one, and I'm assuming the third as well, kind of moves on from the Jets more. Like the first one was heavy Jets related.
Yep.
Now it just gets into like the off season and like in his career, like more Packers stuff. The second episode is like the Super Bowl and moving and like getting into the
ayahuasca journey.
Yeah, the ayahuasca journey. Him and Jordan Poyer, all that. Like it's just so weird. Like they were in Costa Rica, and then they showed him talking to Robert Kennedy about the president race, which is where that whole rumor came from in the offseason. So he's just an odd bird. I always say it, the whole Rodgers act, it's all great and all when they're winning, but his act gets so old when they're losing. Going on McAfee every Tuesday, the ayahuasca darkness retreat.
This is 4 years ago, all over again. Sam Darnold, when nobody wanted to listen to me, and now he's lighting it up again. 13 wins with the Vikings, but we don't have to talk about that.
Wait, lighting it up again? Did he light it up somewhere else?
He lit it up.
It wasn't with the Panthers.
He lit it up. He lit it up in Zach's debut, Week 1, 2021. That was about it.
Lit it up again.
Yeah.
And should we go back to this during the Packers-Jets game, the 2022, where primetime called Aaron Rodgers washed?
That definitely didn't happen. That was AI or something like that.
Don't worry, that's gonna be my next Rodgers review. It's gonna be got some clips cut from primetime.
Oh no. Don't do that.
Don't do that. I also think too, just the whole Garrett Wilson thing as well. Like the Mike LaFleur comments are pretty alarming there too. That's in a way that's kind of like a direct shot to the front office and Hackett for keeping him here.
And Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Yeah, Rodgers.
Garrett Wilson's suddenly taking shots at everybody right now. And he doesn't really care.
And he said
he's going to ask for a trade.
Yeah, when he was talking about the targets, he was like, some people don't feel that way or whatever. Like that's directly to Rodgers, because it was just yesterday was basically Rodgers doing whatever the heck he wants to try and get his 500th touchdown. That was what
to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it was Rodgers dropping back every play. Devontae's down there somewhere. That's basically what yesterday was, the entire game. It's just so frustrating. It's just annoying. Like the 2-minute, geez, that was only the Jets. 2 minutes, you got Rodgers signaling timeout. They don't call a timeout. Then they fall. They take the false start. They move back 5 yards and they kick the field goal and miss it. That was like, I was just laughing. Like you can't get mad.
We didn't even touch on Gibson yet either.
They didn't even get the ball back. He fumbled that. He's been a disaster.
He's been terrible all year.
Yeah.
Like the Jets are loyal to the wrong person. Like for years, they were too loyal to Zuerlein, too loyal to Gibson. It's been like all year long. Like I don't understand the personnel decisions whatsoever.
And they traded Codrington for a 7th-round pick.
Final 2 weeks. Do we finally get a look at Malachi Corley after Gibson's fumble and Lazard another 2 drops?
We got to look at him yesterday. He's on the field. Oh, you want to see him? You want to see him play now?
Yeah, he was active.
What's funny? The Jets are amongst the leaders in drop passes.
Yep.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the guys dropping the passes aren't Corley, aren't Garrett Wilson. It's all Rodgers' buddies.
Lazard's missed 6 games and he's still like top 10 in drops. It's fucking unbelievable.
What a disaster that signing's been. What a disaster. He's been a train wreck. To be honest, Gibson, like the week 1 punt return, feel good story, but even last year, he didn't do a whole lot. I mean, he had a couple nice returns, but even towards the tail end of last year, he wasn't great. And then this season, he's been nothing. Like even in the preseason, you could see a significantly difference in like burst from Codrington to Gibson. Anybody else, even Corley was returning some kicks in training camp. Before Tariq Cohen retired, he was back. So there was clearly like they had a lot of guys back there, and then they traded the wrong player. Of course, that's just what they do
because they're loyal to the wrong people for whatever reason. It's just I don't know. It never made sense back then. It never made sense now. And like the Zerline thing never made sense. We talked about it in training camp as the season started. Like once you see alarming things, you need to cut bait. That's where you cut ties. Then that's what good organizations do. The Jets, nope, they're complacent. No big deal. We'll get them next time. Loss. Yeah, it's just no accountability, man.
But Olbrich said he's proud of the guys. I can't wait, and this is why Vrabel and you guys know like he's the top of the list for me, just because like I'm just so sick of coaches that are always saying every single week. And again, we always say,
but you know who started that?
Oh, Saleh.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need you to stand up there and throw the podium at the beat reporters, but stand up there and like hold the guys accountable. Like, just get a sense of the fan base. Like, get a sense of like what's happening. Like, even Saleh all the time. And that was where I was going to go to is he was always so proud of the guys. Oh, these guys keep fighting. They never quit. Like, it's just enough of that. Enough. Like, I can't wait to just get a coach.
Guys that are just in these guys' ears before they actually go and meet the media, and they have all these like pre-planned quotes that, all right, you're going to say this when they ask this.
Robots.
It's too scripted. Yeah, they become robots. Absolutely.
Yep. 100%. And then,
but that's the culture they've created. That started on day 1 with Saleh. That was the culture they created here, and how give credit to the other team, this and that. It was never they were bad. It was everybody else was always better. No, you're bad.
Exactly.
You're making a lot of mistakes, right?
Self-inflicted wounds. Give credit to the other team. That's it.
Crazy.
Just a quick question before I go, because I don't want to hold you guys up too long. Out of like all the first-time options, who would be your top first-time coach?
Ben Johnson, but he's probably not realistic.
Ben Johnson's definitely not coming here.
No.
I mean, give me a list of candidates.
I might actually say Aaron Glenn. Go ahead.
I love Aaron Glenn, dude.
Yeah, Glenn. I mean, I like Todd Monken, although he's a little bit of like a different. I mean, I like
Monken a lot.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a more experienced first-time guy, I guess, from just his football background. But
I think
he's like 58. I think he's been around for a while. But you got Glenn.
He's also fiery though. Did you see those couple of videos with the Ravens where the guys were screwing up the drill? He ran over and hands on and fixed it himself. That was that's what the Jets need. Not a guy with his arms folded, like a fiery, animated person.
Yep.
Shit, Steve Spagnuolo is the same way. He's not a first-timer, but there's guys like that fiery dudes that you need here. Bring some life to the organization.
That's what I hated about Saleh also. It seemed like he just kind of like divvied up some of the responsibilities with his position coaches, and he never took anything like head on at training camp.
Yeah, exactly. Like even just Saleh as a whole, and that's exactly what I don't want to happen to our next coach is, and that's why the whole first-time route does concern you, but Saleh is in San Fran. He was always so fired up on the sideline, all that stuff. He came here. The only time he showed emotion was, doing the Quincy Williams sack celebration or yelling at the refs. That was it. He was a statue otherwise. How many IG followers do you have?
Yeah, well, I mean, Matt Campbell's turned to the Jets how many times already? Twice.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning, interesting. I mean, I don't think college coaches are coming here, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
What are you doing for Christmas, man? Anything good?
Just got some family coming over, so kind of just hanging around.
Cool. But, well, have a Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for always calling in. Hopefully, hopefully Santa brings a smile to your face. You know the Jets can't do that.
No. Yeah, definitely. Merry Christmas, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
It's so funny to see the evolution of Bubs as a content creator, which is getting really good. But then to see his degradation of a person as the Jets wear him down, and you see like the losing taking a toll on him. His shoulders just slump like you were yesterday. Shoulders just slump back down. You're like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
He's getting the experience doing the Jets thing, but he's gonna go on to bigger and better things probably outside of the Jets, like many of other young callers that have called in.
Ben,
yeah, I mean, A lot of young callers start here and then they go on to do things outside of the Jets, which is nice. So.
Dude, Ben's doing big things with the Chargers, which is cool as hell. All right, so do you want chaos or do you want calm?
Ooh. I mean, we just kind of had calm, so I guess a little bit of chaos wouldn't be so bad.
Tank Man is back.
I am sick, and I'm not just sick. I'm not just sick from viruses. I'm sick of people sleeping on the tank. We're back. We got a whiteboard. The path to Cam Ward is clear.
Oh my
Path
God.
to Cam Ward?
Cam Ward. That Raiders win was huge.
All right, well, break it down for us because you have
We're still
different
picking
colors
eighth.
too.
We're still picking 8th.
Yeah, and we're going to be picking 8, but watch this. Here we go. Ready? So we got to lose out, which is obvious. Then we got Carolina. That's a strength of schedule issue, but they're not picking a quarterback anyway, so it's kind of fine.
That's true.
This week is the big week because next week all these games are just useless. Like the week what is it? Week 18. There's no one's winning out except maybe like the Jets could beat the Dolphins by accident, but the other games are just washes. The Raiders are at the Saints. Desmond Ridder is trash. He's blowing it up right now on the field. This is the Raiders' chance to win again and move down to 8. And then Tennessee's at Jacksonville. Jacksonville just lost to the Raiders. They're bad. They're a horrible team. So if Tennessee wins, then they're at 7. And then we move up all the way to 5. Now the problem is that if you see here, New England is 2nd, and they're not moving from 2nd. So the problem with that,
but they don't need a quarterback.
So the option now you're going to say, oh, well, it's not Tennessee. It's not going to be Tennessee. So that's good. So like maybe you could trade up if you wanted to. Not that I'm suggesting that, but the problem is that New England's not going to let us trade up, and they're probably going to trade down with someone else. So that's going to completely just mess up our whole strategy here. And honestly, I mean, the Patriots were so close to beating the Bills, and it's so infuriating. And I drew out like a little tank up here. I got Cam Ward.
That's Cam Ward?
Looking forward to this.
What number are you giving Cam Ward right there?
Oh, this is just the 1 because it's the first pick in the draft. That's
I thought you were trading sauce or something.
No. I mean, we could talk about that later on, but for now, let's just stay with this. And as you can see, I got the bag just to show the sign because I know morale's been low. I know some people in here have been rooting for wins. They will not be named, but I crossed out but not enough, and it's a smiley face, and it's just we suck now. We're back.
So wait, this is your area of expertise, and I know you're the leader of the tank regime.
Some would say that. Yeah.
Based on your expert analysis, where do you see the Jets ranking in the tankathon after this weekend coming up?
Well, I was kind of offended because Rich Cimini, a so-called expert, said that, oh, the Jets are picking 7th or 8th. It's basically done. I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. If they lose out, they're probably going to pick between 6th or 5th. It depends on that because the Jaguars are playing Tennessee. We really need Tennessee to win that game. That's the most important game because we don't have the tiebreaker over the Jaguars. So, I mean, we really need that Will Levis Mayo to come through here for us. I don't know. It's going to be a tight one. That's the one to really watch. I mean, the Raiders, that they're in their own kind of dimension. I mean, we could always trade up 1 pick in front of them.
So where are we going to be standing after this coming weekend after we lose to the Bills?
Oh, well, I don't know about that because I was kind of thinking like the end of the year, but I think like I said, the last week doesn't really matter. It's kind of all going to be set. So if we lose, well, we'll be at 5 if Jacksonville or Tennessee wins and the Saints win or something. Yeah. And then there's the strength of schedule with Carolina, but don't worry about that. That'll work itself out. Trust
if Jacksonville beats Tennessee, where are we at?
Well, it depends on the Raiders game, but like probably 6, like 1 spot down.
So we can get up to 5 in your opinion.
In my opinion, I think we're good for 5 or 6. It depends with Carolina, that strength of schedule. It's like we're really close. It's like 500 versus 0.500 versus 0.502. It's like that's how like every game matters. But that's a whole different can of worms here. But yeah, so once we get our number 1 quarterback, Garrett Wilson will want to stay because they'll be like, oh, this guy he can throw the ball. he's so good at throwing the ball and he runs, and he's not like Rodgers who kind of just crumples up and dies on the field.
Was that a Garrett Wilson impression, the way you were talking?
No, that's just
just
maybe. I don't know. I'm sick.
So now, wait. So now, based on what you're telling me,
Yeah.
you're willing to sell your tanking soul for Cam Ward?
I mean, what does that mean? What does sell my tanking soul mean? What does that entail?
Because it seems like this whole tank plan you have is all about getting a quarterback.
Well, the thing is, it's about getting a quarterback. And not only do I not want to deal with Sanders and the whole Sanders family and what that entails, but and I think the Giants, they'd be great with the Giants. They love that. So I'm fine with. I think Ward's probably the better option of the two, kind of the CJ Stroud, if you will. Of the draft.
In your world, if the Jets are at 5, would you trade up to get Cam Ward?
See that? I mean, me with my 0 years of. I mean, if I was on Madden, I definitely would. But
no. You're
now Woody Johnson's gonna hear that. Thanks.
No, but
it's fine.
You have this master plan of tank for the tank.
Yeah.
But you have to have a result, a reason to do all this tanking. So now,
that's not what the tank's about. You're misinterpreting the spirit of the tank.
But you kept mentioning Cam Ward, not me. I'm not the one mentioning him. You are.
Listen, the tank is to put
even on there's a picture of him on your chart.
The tank is put yourself in the best position possible as a franchise. And that's what puts us in the best position possible. From there, whatever the GM or coach wants to do, that's up to them. I'm not going to put myself in their shoes. I mean,
so if you go pass rusher at 5, he wouldn't bother you?
That would kind of, just because it's like a positional thing. I feel like, I don't know, actually, that's not true. Joe Douglas kind of did blow up our defensive line. So maybe. But if it's like a really good generational prospect here, then sure.
Well, listen, every player we draft in the first round is generational.
Oh, of course.
Just look at all the draft recaps throughout the years. Everybody we get is either diamond in the rough or generational talent every year.
Yeah,
it's a slam dunk. It's a slam dunk draft. A+. Yeah. I'm going to give my draft grade right now before he comes out. A+.
This right here. This guy was my number 1 pick in the draft.
I can give you Woody Johnson's phone call already. What it's going to sound like.
I can tell you right now, whoever he hires GM is getting an A for their first draft grade. I'm already giving it to him now so we can save time.
No, you're missing that. That's the Mike Mayock. That's the whoever's on NFL Network. This right here was my number 1 guy. He slid all the way to the Jets. Aren't we lucky? But
this Elijah Moore guy, this guy is a steal.
Oh my gosh! Like,
I remember the celebrations for Denzel Mims.
4th rated wide receiver.
The funny thing is that we're actually like talking about draft is that I honestly don't think the draft has been our big, but obviously the Zach Wilson draft put us back. But that has not been in like the last 2 years the biggest problem. It's been free agency. I mean, I don't think Joe Douglas's free agent misses were significantly worse than whatever he did.
Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton.
Okay, I said that one draft class. We know. We have all acknowledged the historical bad Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore. We know.
Only the Jets can cut Carl Lawson. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys and is creating havoc right now. It just makes no sense, man.
That ran over works.
But I'm hopeful.
He's got more sacks than half our defensive line at this point.
The only thing I have left is the numbers. Okay.
Can you show your picture of the tank again?
Okay, sure.
Go down it. Go down.
Camera's flipped. I got it. Okay, here we go. Nope.
Wrong way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what. Oh, it's on this side.
This is like a drunk test. Are you drunk? Are you drunk? Are you
There
sober?
we go. See, I even got the little logo on there, the little jet.
It's like a helicopter.
No, it's good.
I like that picture.
It's the simplest logo to draw.
The bottom's like a snow pea.
No.
That should be our next shirt. The next Let's Talk Jet shirt. But take a picture of his tank and put it on there.
We'll take it'll be like a little PNG of the tank. We'll put on a white shirt. It will make it really small in the center.
It'll be good for the next 10 years.
That's
right.
So
now, what's our next game? At Buffalo. Oh, that's easy. We're chilling this week, guys. We're fine.
This is gonna be an ass beating this weekend. There's gonna be no question of doubt this weekend. This is gonna
be a good one.
I'm worried about Miami though.
The Miami one. That's gonna be. We're gonna be on the edge of our seats for that one. Oh, I honestly don't think I could take it if we were in the number 5 pick entering that week and we somehow won. That might break me. But
they're gonna win. They're gonna put up 38 points. You're gonna have Rodgers and Devontae Adams hugging as they walk off the field
walking
together.
Off, holding hands.
Last time.
Yep.
Like last time, like the Green Bay. It's great.
Yep. Randall Cobb. Yep. Same thing.
Okay. I think we have a good plan going for it. We'll meet again in a week. We'll recap. We'll regroup here.
We'll reconvene.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys. Have a good
night.
festivals. Good holidays.
You too, man. See, not many channels have their own tank expert. That's with graphs and pictures.
Certified expert. That's our
Any
tank general.
contradicted Samini, which is even better. That's what I'm looking for here. We like controversy.
That's our tank.
All right.
general.
So would you like calm and composed or or more chaos?
Let's go with more chaos. Why not? Why not?
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, bros.
What are we doing?
Why?
What is it? Santa hand puppet?
What in the hell? Think positive.
What's there to be positive about?
Think positive.
Oh, for you, not me.
About the
That's your
future. What are
name,
you
Ron.
talking
That's your
about?
name.
Oh.
Anyways, let's not talk about Sunday. Let's talk about the future. And I set up a presentation for you guys today. Hopefully you guys will listen.
Hopefully.
Feel like boats and hose.
Okay.
Right? Look, I know we're talking about quarterbacks, whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. At this point, who cares? Enigma, we hate you, Rodgers. We just hate you.
Whoa.
Go smoke ayahuasca somewhere else. Look, whether or not we're going to get a top pick in the draft, top 5, top 10, we're probably not going to get a quarterback, but you never know. It's good to imagine about all this stuff. So I got something set up for you guys.
I'm scared.
Me too.
Look, if we're going for a quarterback,
Is there a cross on his bag?
you guys like my new nose job?
Oh my god. All right, let's go.
You should have.
What
All
are we
right.
doing here?
I don't see it now.
First quarterback up. Cam Ward.
Okay.
Everyone loves him. Heisman finalist. Looks really good. Could be eligible. Could be really good in the draft. Why not him? So that's an option right there. Wouldn't it be? Into the Jets. Hopefully not getting ruined by Woody Johnson and Brick Johnson. Why not?
Okay.
Second quarterback.
He's prepared. This is impressive.
We have an actual presentation.
Shedeur Sanders.
That's not happening.
Nope.
Okay, fine. Not Shedeur Sanders then. Third quarterback. Jalen Milroe.
In the first round?
No.
Yes.
Oh
No.
my god. What are we doing here?
Wouldn't that be the most Jets thing ever to go after Jalen Milroe in the first round?
I don't even want a quarterback to begin with in the first round.
You're not reaching for a quarterback in the first round out of desperation. You can't.
All right, fine. No quarterbacks in the first round. What about in March during free agency? If not any of these rookie QBs,
Don't tell me
Let's go.
Kirk Cousins.
It's going to be Kirk Cousins.
well, let's go after established QBs. Not Kirk Cousins,
Jameis Winston.
Daniel Jones.
Just get
God help us.
him out of here.
Come on.
We're not even doing this
Done.
anymore. Out.
Done.
Ay, ay, ay. This is just.
If he would have showed Sam Darnold, maybe we let the presentation go on a little bit longer, but no.
But see, that's where I thought he was going to go with this. I was just waiting for the Sam Darnold, like a big, like soliloquy of like
Yeah.
making you smile and get all happy and
Yeah.
all this, like, you know.
That would have got me to think positive a little bit.
Yep. I was waiting for the Sam Darnold stuff. That's what he had a chance there, but
Yep.
no, we don't need any more. That was good enough. you gotta keep the entertainment going. You can't bring up Milroe in the first round, then you're out.
No.
Do you have any graphs or charts?
No, I just have
Right, you're off
salary cap stuff. I'm
Oh,
off too.
wait a minute. Wait, hold
Oh.
on. So now it's December 23rd.
Well,
After you know what you're like? You're like Salah. You've neglected your job for 3 months, and now you're gonna act like you care?
hello, Armand. I gotta say, I've always cared, but
No.
you were angry puppy last week.
No, because
you
prime
were
time
attacking
is,
people left
No.
and right.
Prime time
Didn't
has
make a difference what I had to
He was
say.
bullying people.
Prime time repeatedly asked for detailed financial information. You said, I don't know, man. I'm busy.
Oh, that work usually comes first.
But listen, man,
Now,
if you're the
now he
director,
did the research. Now he's ready.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
December 23rd. This should have been done
Well,
2 months
still,
ago.
What makes a difference? So we got 32 mil right now
Okay.
for next year.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well,
But you know what I love about this point? I want you to listen closely to his next point because it's gonna be very important what he's gonna tell you next.
yeah.
Whoa, why do you know this already? Who'd you guys like?
Because as a content creator, I take
You guys,
pride in my
talk
work.
behind the scenes to,
I do a lot of
take me
research
down here?
myself.
You're allowed to post
June
June
1st.
1st cuts right away. Only 2. So
Yep.
my 2 is Devontae and Rodgers.
Yep.
Okay. That brings me up to 79 mil.
Woof. Now that's something. If I'm Mike Vrabel, I want to talk about. You got me $80 million in cap space.
Oh, I got hold on.
Oh, we got more.
Yeah, because I'm gonna cut
But wait,
Zerline.
there's more.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Get
cut
him outta here.
Zerline, Clemens, Gibson, and who was the other one here?
Sirkin.
Sorry. Lazard,
Yes.
and brings me up to $89 million,
I want to coach the Jets now.
which and basically
Who's the
have
quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor.
to be Tyrod Taylor. You could bring someone in as an intermediate.
Justin Fields.
Okay, because what you have in this draft is not what you want. Doesn't look good. They're not highly touted. Let me put it that way. Right? It's not a good class. But regardless, you need this money because you have to fill in spots.
Yep.
But not only it gets better, because by cutting those guys, you went in 2026. You're now at 162 million available.
That's a long-term plan.
And now you can sign. Hold on.
We're talking 2026 salary cap.
No. Hold on. Now you can do those 1 year, $1 million first year, and then carry it over. And then now you can bring in some really good talent
And take care of your homegrown talent.
and take care of your homegrown talent, right? But not only that, you bring in a quality coach and GM, you can attract good talent as well.
Yes.
Now, the biggest problem we have is the owner. Now, you say high bid, give him $80 million for 10 years. I personally don't see him doing anything like that. Until
Not now, but when?
Listen, he had a chance to do it with Peyton and with Harbaugh. Did he? Didn't even budge. Didn't even.
Yeah, he had a chance when he hired Sally. He had a chance to flex his muscles and get spend bigger money. He didn't. But what you're mentioning is really good. If you're talking about if you're going to do a rebuild, which is inevitable, the cap space is going to be paramount. And you now gave the Jets 2 big years to restock this roster that needs restocking. So that to me is a sales pitch to a general manager and to a head coach. Listen, you could have 80 million this year and 100-something million next year.
Yeah.
And you have an offensive line with 4 starters on it. You got Garrett, you got, Sauce and Jermaine Johnson, Quincy Quinnen.
And if you have a good GM and a good head coach, you probably have a good chance of restructuring a lot of these other contracts for long term and bringing that. And you can be close to $100 million.
Yep.
If you're good. Okay.
A good GM's going to want draft picks, not salary cap space.
He's going to want both.
Let me tell you something. They want free agents too. You
want the known commodity.
It takes too long to build on drafts.
You want the known commodity.
The way it is now. You can't hold on to them forever. So you need a good mixture. All right. And by putting in good free agents, you're gonna end up keeping your young guys because they see you have a winning program. It's all about comes down like we have said it from day one. It's all about culture. All right. You set up a winning culture. You set it by getting rid of the garbage.
The dead weight.
Okay. The guys that caused the problem. They made it. You brought up the thing about the 2-minute warning. And this is what pisses me off with Rodgers. He looks over to the bench. Meanwhile, throughout the whole game, you're changing plays left and right on your own. So call the damn fucking timeout yourself. What are you looking at the bench for?
What here to do?
What are you going to do? What are you looking at the bench for? Call the timeout. If you knew that was the right answer or the right decision, then do it.
Yep.
That's not his job.
Do it. Do what's best for the team.
He's been calling them left and right all the time.
Yep.
But he saw the clock going down. Is that his job to do that as well?
You're right.
That's not an obvious call timeout situation.
He audible to that Devontae Adams throw down the sideline where Devontae went out of bounds to stop the clock.
Your quarterback
Kevin,
to do to
Kevin,
read the defense and make adjustments. That's
Kevin, I love you and I
what you
respect
expect your
you,
quarterback to do.
but stop
What?
with Rodgers.
No, I won't.
He's been in the league for
I will not.
he knows better. Don't make excuses for him. Okay,
That's not his call to make that timeout right there, though, because that's not an obvious. Call timeout to
it's
kill
his
the
call
clock.
to change the play. Every play that comes in, get thrown in.
They could have let that clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. They didn't need to call a timeout there, though. They didn't need to even run a play. They could have let it run down to the 2-minute warning and then kick a field goal. They didn't need to even run a play. So that's why he's looking over. Do I call
That's not my
timeout?
point. My point is don't look over to the sidelines asking for a timeout when you could have just called it on your own. If you thought that was the right call, if you thought that was the right call, you make the call. If you thought that was the right call, you make the call. You make the call. Period. You're the leader on the field. You're the leader on the field.
Does not justify a timeout. You want all 3 times. You needed 2 scores.
It doesn't make it. No, it's not the point.
You need all 3 timeouts.
It's not. Has nothing to do with that.
It does.
No. My point is, if you're the leader on that team, you don't look over to the sideline. You make the call.
That's totally.
You're the leader.
That's totally
You're the
wrong.
captain. This whole NFL is based on the quarterback. So you make the call.
No, not
as
right.
a leader.
Not
Don't
in
look
that
over
situation.
because maybe
The timeout was
maybe
the
you didn't
wrong
want to
call
be
anyway.
subjected to why'd you make that call with 2 minutes left either. So
The timeout would have been the wrong call anyway if he made it. That's why he was looking.
listen,
over.
the chat agrees
You
with
wanna
me. It's
call
over.
timeout here.
Well, the timeout would have been the right thing because they were so confused. Then they had a false start. It's like cost them 5 yards.
Exactly. Regardless, we wanted the loss anyway. You know, he played a good game. It wasn't going to get us anything. But no, we need the money. We do it. We need the money. We need the money to bring in some talent. We've got a core of good players. We just need to surround them with some more.
Well, not even, but it's also money to lure in the highly touted general manager. You have this plan. Say, listen, if Woody Johnson genuinely says you have full control of this roster to do whatever you want with it, and the guy looks over and says, listen, I can instantly get $80 million in cap space. I can get $110 million next year. You know what? Job isn't so bad anymore. As long as you keep your ass out of it, Woody.
Exactly.
Not so bad anymore.
That's the bottom line, and that's something no one controls.
But if Woody Johnson is enjoying the Aaron Rodgers who's forcing the ball to Devontae Adams 15 times a game to get touchdowns, he's enjoying that because he wants to get records under the Jet name. He wants to bring him back next year. Then we're screwed.
Also, he's also talking to Woody's language that I'll take less money.
Well, yeah, that's all Woody wants to talk about.
I love how the narrative this week is, Aaron Rodgers is forcing the ball to Devontae Adams.
He was.
The week before when he throws for 190 yards to Devontae Adams, that's okay. Now this week he's forcing.
When you're missing a wide open Garrett Wilson because you're staring at Devontae Adams when the game is on the line, your agenda was exposed. That you were more about your stats than you were about winning.
That down that he threw it into the end zone, you saw Garrett Wilson was right in the slot.
Yep,
he would have scored on that play because it was a natural pick happening, and he would have had. But his eyes were constantly on that. He became selfish. It's bottom line. It was a selfish move.
Every legacy touchdown is going to go to Devontae Adams.
We could agree to disagree, but that was to me was a selfish move. He wanted to his buddy. He did not think of the team at that time. He thought about himself.
Yep, as always.
You really think that's going through his head?
100%. Absolutely. No doubt.
Come on.
This guy knows every stat of it. He knows every stat of his entire career. How many yards, where it was, he knows every facet of his resume.
He knows exactly what's going on.
He knows exactly what
Listen
he's
to
doing.
his press conferences. Listen to everything. He knows
exactly where that ball is going.
Okay. He's not a
You don't think
guy.
that's true? You don't think that final ball is going to Devontae Adams? You're out of your fucking mind.
No.
Come on, bro. Jesus Christ.
Not at the risk of throwing an interception that he's going to try to deliberately force it to him over not throwing the ball to
He did it yesterday.
He did force it on him.
He missed it. That shit happens. He's not the only quarterback on Sunday that misses open receivers. That shit happens.
Shit happens when guys are wide open everywhere else, except for where the ball went.
He also had one-on-one coverage with Adams. We've been screaming for the end zone fade pass for how many weeks?
I guarantee you that
one touchdown on it last week.
Afram, do you want to bet every red zone opportunity this coming Sunday, which will probably be very few, they're all going to Devontae Adams until that 500 happens?
Absolutely.
It's a slam dunk. Anybody on FanDuel betting that, just bet the Devontae Adams touchdown. It's going to be coming.
Yeah, and to be honest, if you want to keep Garrett Wilson, Devontae has to leave.
I agree.
You have to say you're my number one.
Oh no, that's not. Well, I'll give you that caveat. If you want to bring back Devontae Adams, that's great. Aaron Rodgers has to leave.
Yeah. Which would you think the other one would leave as well?
That's
At that
true.
point?
I'd rather have.
You
I'd rather
don't
have.
think that- you
Oh,
don't
I'd
think
love-
Garrett
I'd
would
keep
want- you
him,
don't
but I
think
mean,
Garrett
that-
would want another number
cutting
one
him
wide
is
receiver
36
opposite
million.
him?
Now with the quarterback, it's not gonna like. I think there's a rift between Rodgers and Garrett at this point. I think there is now tension, and they're just growing apart now. Where it's not that happy locker room I thought it was going to be. It's just not.
Yeah.
So if you want to have Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, great. I think Rodgers would have to go then.
I don't know about that.
Did I do well this time? Though I'm back in the candidacy.
This is easily the best call you've had.
This is. Am I back in the interview process?
This is you know what it was? You know what I appreciate you from? You stepped your game up. You went out of the comfort of your living room into the executive office to show how serious you were.
And Brick isn't even in here.
Right,
So
that's right.
even
Well,
better.
you tied him up in the other room, and now you have stats, like legitimate numbers that primetime can't even ignore now. Because now his argument got shot to shit, where it's just about the money. Show me the money, you showed it to us.
Brick is probably going to use this call with future GM.
Brick's going to play with himself. I don't care what he has. We need to get serious here. Woody's got to wake up. Until Woody wakes up, this whole conversation we have means
Woody's awake now.
Well, I hope so. I'm hoping the 33rd team is telling him, you need to give control up. You can't.
But the problem is he can give control, but he's got to pick the right person to do it to. And that's the thing. They can give you a great list of candidates. He makes the final decision.
Yeah. My biggest fear is that he tells them that and lets them have it in the beginning and then decides, I didn't care for what he did, and he goes back in doing the same thing.
Well, that's what happened with Douglas.
Yeah. So,
Oh, can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
What's up, Johnny? Merry Christmas
yes.
to you and your family.
Yes.
We don't need to talk.
I mean,
No. But
This
fair.
is football.
They played.
Your football
My
show.
team is not playing with heart. They're not playing at all. They're playing like shit.
I mean,
Lay it
this
on.
is
If you can dish it out, you have to be able to take it.
100%. The
This is
Ranger
as
fans
bad
have
as it's
taken
been
shots
for
to me.
Yeah.
No, this
The
is as
Ranger
bad as
fans
it's
have
been for the
talked
Rangers
and
in a
talked
very
and
long
talked.
I don't know what's going on because it's almost the same players, one or two, but I don't know what's changed. Are they disenchanted with the head coach? I have no idea. But they're playing like shit, and they're losing like shit. They're losing bad.
No heart.
No heart whatsoever. They're not even checking or attacking. It was.
The Devils are just winning.
Well, yeah, they're a young team. They're being coached well.
It's early in
Okay,
the
there's
year.
something going on.
They have
Something's going on that team. I don't know. Yeah, but what's causing it? That's the bottom line. And I don't know if jury is the one that can figure it out. But unfortunately, you're stuck until. I just don't know how you can go to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and then boom, you're playing like.
Do you
shit.
see any similarities between the Jets and Rangers?
No, because they.
Because the Rangers actually won something?
The Rangers were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're always in the playoffs for the most part, but it's just, yeah, you could say that. The Capitals are the ones surprised, but let's not talk about hockey. We can do that another show.
This is fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Like I say, if you can dish it out, you better be able to take it. That's the bottom line. You
Well, the
can
Rangers are doing a good job of taking it right now. So that's
Oh
good.
yeah, and they deserve it. They deserve it. I'll be the first one to tell you that. What do you think about the Yanks with the Goldschmidt and all that? Were you happy with that move?
I'm waiting to see. I'm going to give it the entire. I'm going to be just like NFL free agency. I'm going to take the same way. Let me see what happens into January, February before I react to everything.
Getting some good bargain basement deals out there in the Bronx.
It's fine.
No,
It's
no,
not about. I mean,
fine.
you can spend all the money in the world. You can still choke in the playoffs. Doesn't make a goddamn difference. It's about team chemistry and unity.
Before I go off, I want to be serious here. I just want to wish everyone in the chat happy holidays.
What about me and him?
Let me finish, for God's sakes. I always say, and you don't have to wait for Christmas to be happy. You can be happy every day of your life if you choose, and that's up to you.
True.
You have a lot to live for. You have a lot. There's so many things you can take. It could be this small, or it could be this much. You can grip. You can get happiness out of it. So don't wait for 11 months before you decide to be happy. Be happy every day, because let me tell you something. Your stress level will go down, and you will enjoy your life every single day with you, your family, whoever's involved. So, and you two guys, always love you guys. I appreciate all you bringing me on when you need me to fill in. I love this channel. You bring me on all the time. I can't thank you enough for that. I enjoy it. This is like my escape. It relieves. I don't know if I got stressed, but I like the change of pace and just.
You definitely got stress.
Yeah, I'm stressed when I'm talking to you because you're just not stop causing it. But yeah, no, for everyone, just enjoy life, no matter what day of the year it is. But
Except Sundays. I can't enjoy Sundays.
enjoy it. Well, you can't change it. You know, you can't. You got to just accept it and move on and hope for the best. That's all you
Well
can do.
said, Adam. Well said.
That's
That's
it.
actually a really good. This is actually your best call you've ever done. No, that's actually really true though. We joke around a lot about being like depressed and this team kills us, but life is short and life is
Yeah.
precious, man. Enjoy
just-
every day. Yeah, it's true.
You want to win, but it's just a game in the bottom line. That's all it is.
Yep.
There's always one the following week, and there's always one every season. There's a team you root for. You have sports 24/7 in this country, so there's always something to do. And your teams may not win all the time, but you know something. You got something to watch, something to root for, something to get angry, and
It's about the people that you're watching it with. That's
exactly, and that you bring up the point of being in the ticket season holder there, and you have your group, your family at the stadium to always see and you cheer with. You have that group, that camaraderie. That's what it's all about. That's just like here in the chat. Everyone here, no matter how bad or how good what's going on, you got the same people coming in all the time to be part of this channel, regardless of the situation, to vent, to be happy. And all that, and that's the bottom line. And then you two guys have made that happen. Okay, so you give yourselves credit for that. You guys made that happen because you allowed it to happen, and it's taken off and it's doing well. So once again, happy holidays to everyone. I look forward to the next year, good or bad, whatever the news is. We got something to talk about, and we take it from there. That's
so
all.
this call is remarkable on so many different levels because you came in educated, prepared. You came in angry at prime time.
No,
and
I'm
you
not angry.
you were angry, and then you're ending. you were definitely angry.
He
And now
talks
you're-
too much. I got to speak over him. You know him.
Then you ended with peace and love and a positive,
Yeah,
encouraging
I'm
message.
always like that. You know that. I'm always like that. You know, I just you got to overpower him sometimes. He's persistent, so you got to overpower him.
Well, he's in love.
the
He's in
chat
love
says
with
I don't talk enough. You say I talk too much.
No.
I don't know what to do over here.
You're nonstop. Once you go on that roll, it doesn't matter who's talking.
Yeah, once you get me going, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I have to
This
speak
is-
loud and over with you. That's.
But
the bottom
see,
line.
but we've learned when prime time falls in love, this is what happened. This is what happens. We just get used to it. He's in love with Rodgers. We're gonna go through this roller coaster ride until the dead end of it, which will be in 2 weeks, and then we'll go through. He'll be depressed for about 3 weeks, and then we'll bounce back when we get some other quarterback he'll rally around.
I just look at it as, is it worth it for another year? I don't.
Nope.
think so.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't think so.
So
There's
what's
nothing-
the alternative then?
You got nothing gained. You're not gonna. It's not gonna make any difference next year because you still have parts and you don't have the money. Then that's it. It's a catch-22.
The money we
You have
save,
no
we're just
money.
going to invest in Kirk Cousins or another quarterback.
No, maybe not. Maybe you build up your defense and you get a good coaching staff because that's all this place needs is a good coaching staff, and you make it happen.
Can you imagine us being the first channel he watched?
Wow.
Poor thing. He probably thought this like we set your standard when everybody else is like 10 times more intelligent, more prepared.
Yeah, but he keeps coming back, or she keeps coming back, whatever. Could they enjoy it?
He goes from like he checks out this channel, then he goes to like Ryan's channel, Jets Talk 24/7. Like, wow, this guy's really smart, and educated. What the hell are those two bozos talking about?
Yeah, well, yeah, everyone's got a different view. I mean, but you know, I give credit to all of them because they continue to put on content regardless of the situation.
Especially during this bullshit of a year.
Even Ryan, he goes on. He says, "I have to do it because that's my commitment. I hate coming in talking about losing all the time, you know." But you know, listen to Green Bean. Green Bean has always got a positive attitude. He'll smile and do that.
Yeah,
used to.
Yeah.
your
Years
ass.
ago, I used to.
Green, you a positive Green Bean, my
But
ass.
anyway, listen to him when he talks. He just he'll throw in his digs, but he understands. He's been watching as long as I am.
Drenched in sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
Oh, so that's where you get it from.
you got
I'm my own angry person.
yeah.
He's got more comedic value.
Yeah, we get angry because we see the same old thing and nothing changes.
Yeah.
But we know where the root cause is, right? And until that root cause changes, it's going to be that way. So we just have to understand where it's coming from. We can blame Salah, we can blame Douglas, but it's all comes. The head chef is the one that changes the recipe all the time. So What are you gonna do?
Well, excellent call, Afram.
Gentlemen, are you doing next Monday? Or are you done for this year?
What is
I'm
it?
asking. I'm just asking. You know, you need time off too. You guys need
What?
time off too.
Do the Jets play on Sunday?
Well, they show up. Do they?
Do
play?
Then we'll be here on Monday.
Then I will be here as well. Good night, all. I'll be in the chat still.
We
But
need to
good.
break.
Thank you for everything all year. Bottom of
you,
my
man.
heart. Thank you for everything. Well,
No,
Good
thank you
night,
for always
man.
joining us, man. Have a
Great
good
work,
night.
man. Merry
be
Christmas.
well.
This was his best call.
Absolutely. Aside from the early part.
But you know what it was? We finally pressured him to the point we held him accountable, and now he had to rally and come with facts. But
Well, you can't be our cap guru and not know all the numbers. I mean,
this is the first time. The COVID and Gase years were rough, man. Holy cow.
those streams were just crazy. I mean, half the time I didn't even have work the next day, so we were just that was another.
No, but all serious, no, in years like this, doing the live streams on Sunday are a lot more fun because of the chat and we're joking around. It's like we're all in this together because it's miserable. Like the games you don't want to watch. Like I wanted to watch Commanders, Eagles. I wanted to watch all these other games. We had to watch it, so we watched it together, and it was much better.
Yep.
So
Tell
yeah,
me
it's always we had Tank Man's picture of a tank. We had Afram fighting. We had the Jolly Jester.
got to find ways to get through it. It's the only way.
And depending on how this offseason goes, we're gonna have interviews too, because I think we're gonna have to. Like it's just,
What would it take for you to start the interview process? Are you talking about like them making the wrong hire or the process just dragging out where we don't have anybody for a long period of time? Like, what's it going to take?
Because I really want to do a Woody Johnson interview really, really bad because I have that much hate in my heart for him.
Yeah.
But then it's like maybe he finally does the right thing, then we look stupid. If he goes out and gets Vrabel, like, oh, look at these two idiots mocking Woody. We could do Saleh. That's too easy. Ulbricht's too easy.
I think you did promise a solid video at some point running up the stairs. I feel like you still got that.
What to do it?
You got the haircut for it.
Not fan interviews. We're not doing fan interviews. We're doing mock. We're doing fun. How is it? It's not about you all the time, Kevin.
That was a Steve comment.
It's like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Available.
Dude, Steve messaged me. Yo, am I due for an interview yet? Like, you haven't been on the show in a month.
He hasn't called in. Where's he been?
The hell? We're just too nice, man. We're too nice. Oh. Yeah, we got it now. We can't do Brick Johnson. He's a kid, man.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson is just. There's a couple that I want. I mean,
We could
did see
definitely bring Gase back. We could definitely bring Gase back.
we can have Gase answer questions about Saleh.
That's vice versa.
Saleh, yeah. I mean, there's so many we can do, but it's just like, I don't know. Got to think about it. Because if they go out and do a great hire, we're gonna look stupid.
They're not gonna.
Because I kind of want. It's because Woody Johnson's got to do a end of year press conference. He has to because you're not going to have your interim head coach and interim general manager do it. He's got to do it himself. That could be the day if he says some shit where you're like, that could be the day where it's like, all right, now we tear you to pieces.
It's not if, it's when.
Oh, you guys, all the first timers here. Holy shit, that's crazy. I don't even know what the first channel I subscribed to. I have no idea. Appreciate it. So now, good luck this weekend, man. I know what's his face is going to the game. Ian's going to the game in Buffalo. Jets Bills. Yeah. Like, oh, bring your friggin' Florida kid gonna be in Buffalo. He's gonna freeze his ass off.
He must have had that booked in advance, right?
He did. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
in theory supposed to be. Think about it. If that was like a big game,
Yeah.
Well, if we hire Arthur Smith, they're definitely gonna interview him. 100% gonna interview him. He's on the list.
I think he's saying the Woody Johnson interview has to happen if they hire.
Oh yeah.
Smith.
Oh, and you know what's funny? If they hire Arthur Smith, you can make a case why they could do it, but the fan reactions would be hysterical because everybody hates him.
Yep.
But the fans we love Saleh, so the fans have been wrong before. But it should be a good hire for all we know.
It's true.
All right. Next caller as we babble along here. What's with this? This was the first channel I saw on sub 2. Oh, where Donald got rocked. Remember that one? They put him back in the game.
Yeah. That was where Becton was hurt also, right?
Yep. And they put him back in the game too.
Yeah. He was sitting on the shoulder. Yeah.
the things we remember. I can't tell you any of the important things. I just know all the dumb things they do.
I think that was the Pierre Desir game also, right? Where he gave up like 200 yards passing, but he had 2 interceptions and he was celebrating that.
Yeah, and then he got pissed off at us for criticizing him.
Yep.
Like, bro, you played like shit and you're celebrating your 2 interceptions. He actually tweeted us. Yeah, he actually tweeted us. He's mad at us. Like, how you mad at us for? You got torched all game, you idiot.
God.
We pissed off so many players in those days, dude.
We got to
Holy
do like
cow.
a top 10 of the worst streams we've done.
Oh, it's so funny because when players first come to the team, they all start following us. Within a matter of 3 weeks, all of them, they all unfollow us. Every one of them. It's so, especially all the rookies. The rookies always follow us instantly, and it's just a matter of time. Unfollow. You just see, boop, boop, boop. Gone.
Tack McKinley likes us because I put together that highlight clip of him.
DJ Reed liked us for a while.
Yeah.
Brees Hall likes us for some reason. He still follows us.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, next caller. What's up, man?
Hey guys,
Not so grumpy today.
happy holidays. Yeah, for Christmas, I'm feeling like be a little bit more happy.
All right.
And honestly, I'm out of the season. I don't really care anymore because there's not really much left. Tanking. I appreciate Tank, man. I've heard the same arguments he made about, with his great flow diagram over there about how we can get Cam Ward or whatever. Honestly, I don't want to see that because if we have to trade up for Cam Ward, it's going to be the other thing they're going to start him next year, and he isn't ready. That guy, he's not a immediate starter, so that would be the problem with that. But I appreciate the enthusiasm, and I'm just trying to get a little bit more happy about it. One shout out to you, Tyson. Thank you for the video on the mental health videos.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. It needs to be done. You've got, and there's not enough people talking about it even now. It's getting better, but there's so much out there and people don't even realize it. And it's valuable. Don't want to waste too much time.
No, appreciate it. And yeah, starting beginning of January, I'll be doing something weekly. So the whole new fundraiser, all kinds of stuff. Just got to get some more things ironed out. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
As much as we can kid about being depressed after a Jets loss and everything else, or being angry or depressed about this stuff, it isn't real life. Afram's right. It's not. It's a game. It's fun. And my big joy is being around other fans and stuff like that. I used to enjoy it with my son when we sit there. My wife couldn't understand it, watching all these horrible things and having a ball making fun of them. Well, that's what we do on this channel. So it's great. Bad calls. I've got that back again, and it keeps you alive and it makes it fun.
Yeah.
Answer to your question about Vrabel, I think what's going on right now, I don't think he's coming here either. I think the Jets are blowing smoke. I think they're putting it out there, trying to say we're doing a serious process because you see these things, Jets say that he's a top candidate and all this crap. Could Vrabel come here? The answer is yeah, but I don't think Woody's going to accept his terms because Vrabel's going to turn around. First of all, it depends on the GM. And secondly, he's not going to allow interference. He's going to say, I want a contract. He's going to want a lot of money, in part because Woody is not going to fire a coach that he's paying a lot of money to, which he's never done before. I don't think it's going to be Vrabel.
And he knows the Jets are desperate too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He knows in a sense, it's a buyer's market there for anybody who's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I've been hearing all these names and stuff. And again, until we see the list, until we see who they're interviewing, we're really just speculating at this point. We don't even know who's going to take an interview with them. But if you asked me like who I wanted, there's some good names out there. Don't get me wrong. But for example, I keep hearing about Liam Cohen with the Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Liam Cohen has 2 years of NFL coaching experience. Oh, he's in the McVay tree. He had 1 year as OC under McVay. He was a college offensive coordinator. He's never had head coaching experience at all, any level, and he's only got 2 years of coaching. We need a guy that's culture. We need a guy who's broad-based. I don't care about play calling. I don't care about how brilliant their play calling is. And if you got a good offensive coordinator, they can do that. You don't need to do that as a head coach. It's nice to have an offensive head coach because they understand. But honestly, I don't need an Andy Reid.
Nope.
I just need somebody that understands it. I need somebody who can look at the whole picture and who can coach, who can manage, who can lead. And I know it sounds prejudicial, but you know what? Young kids that have had a couple of years experience in the NFL haven't done anything. A coordinator does not have the same scope as we've seen with Saleh and so many others.
Yep.
And when people give me the argument about McVay and Shanahan, look at their background. These guys grew up in football. Shanahan was around his father, who was a head coach. McVay with his grandfather and other people. But these guys were football guys their whole lives. So you can't sit there and say, well, they were young and look how good they did. Shanahan was an OC for a number of years. I mean, these guys have been around.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. If you looked at who I'd want, one of the people that I'd like to see is Monken because he is older and because he's been around the league. And the other thing is Monken takes the job. It means he wants it. And he's not desperate for it because he's 58 or whatever he is. He's in a great position.
Great situation. Yep.
He's with a great team. He's probably paid pretty well. If the OCs aren't paid badly, and I'm sure he's paid pretty well by the Ravens. So it's not a money thing. And if he wants to do it, he can do it. He's got the experience, and he's a fiery guy. I've said before, if I had my choice, I'd wish his brother would come here. The guy, he's the Army coach.
Well, they interviewed Monken last time when they got Todd Bowles. They interviewed Monken.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd love to have his brother too, because his brother's the same way.
Oh, I know.
They're going to be open. They're going to be making people accountable. It's the nature of them. It's the way they are. And I think he'd be great. I don't think he's coming here. A name that I've kind of been rethinking about, some people mentioned Spagnuolo. I don't know if he's going to be interested. I don't know if he's going to interview, if he'd even be willing to interview with Woody. Spagnuolo, and I originally, he's a great defensive coordinator. I don't have a problem with that because I think he knows, having worked with Andy Reid, how important the offense is. I think he knows that. And he'll hire somebody that he knows. Either he'll get Reid's advice on it. He'll hire somebody that's a real offensive coordinator, right? And he'd be great. He's been around a while. He's been in the New York area, so he knows what New York is like.
He knows the market.
He knows the market. He knows all those pieces. And also, I don't think, again, he's in a position, he's on a team that's going to go to its third Super Bowl probably this year. Likely. I'm not saying it will, but
his resume is awesome, dude. Spagnuolo's resume is excellent. He's got to be a good candidate.
He's a good candidate. And the other thing is, coming from that kind of background, he knows how to win. He knows how to be on a winning team. He's been around Andy Reid, so he knows what makes up for a good formula there. I think he's learned a lot. And he's not going to bow down to Woody Johnson, because he's going to say, you know what? I'm coming from a Super Bowl winning team. What do you offer me to come to your team and try to make you a win?
Well, I think there's a big difference if you have a first-time head coach or a second-time head coach. The second-timers, the established head coach, isn't taking Woody Johnson shit. The first-time head coach could waffle a little bit just to get the job. Like they want that job. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll concede this just so I can land it. Where like the Monkins, the Spagnolas, Flores, other guys like that, they ain't gonna take that shit. Like, no, my way or I'm out. That's it.
And like I said, any of these guys, and the other thing is because they're not desperate for it. They may like it. Yep. They may want to be a head coach, but you could sense that somebody like a Saleh was really dying, or a Bowles, or any of these guys we've hired. So they were willing to bend over for Woody, and we can't have that.
Well, Saleh was touted though. Like he was between us.
Yeah, but you know what? One of the interesting things about that, he was touted because everybody looked at him as a DC in San Francisco, right? He was and of course we have the NFL coaching tree, right? That mysterious NFL coaching tree that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. The New England line has been pretty crappy.
It sure has.
The other lines haven't done that well. I don't know how well the McVay stuff some have done well, some have not. This whole idea of coaching trees, I really think is overrated. I do. And it's about the coaches themselves and stuff like that. I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that coaches have to be themselves. Mangini, the one big problem that Mangini had, he had a lot of the attributes. He tried to be Belichick, which is stupid. I think every one of his coaches did that.
But I think the one thing is, I agree with you. Like the coaching doesn't matter, but I like the pedigree you learned from. Like, for example, Aaron Glenn, the guys who he worked under and worked with is really, really impressive. Spagnuolo, same thing. When you look at that, like, all right, it's not a tree. Say, okay, he's a Parcells guy or a Belichick guy or that guy. But like when you're under great coaches year after year for a series of years, you've got to figure an intelligent coordinator, whoever is going to adapt and learn so much that they can apply with their own vision as they build their program. And that's where I get excited. Like, all right, listen, there's no guarantees. If Aaron Glenn learned from Sean Payton and Bill Parcells, no guarantees whatsoever. But that to me is like, all right, that's a positive because you know what they're all about. The discipline, that's being innovative, like accountability. All that's encouraging.
That's another factor for somebody like Aaron Glenn, who I like a lot. Yeah. Do I think he can handle this? I know a lot of people are acting like, oh no, another first-time defensive coordinator, yada yada. Glenn is different because first of all, he was a player, and that makes a difference.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that all ex-players are great coaches. They're not. A lot of great ex-players have been terrible coaches. But if you look at somebody like D'Amico Ryans in Houston,
good one,
great player. He came into a situation, he coached, but he had been around some great coaches. I think he worked under Reid, didn't he? I think he was at Philadelphia when Reid and stuff like that was there. So he's worked under great people. You're right. And also he knows the player's perspective. And he also kind of understands that. I think one of the problems with a Saleh where they want to be a player's coach, I think that players understand that they want a coach that's really coaching.
Yep.
That they might be, Parcells.
They don't need a buddy.
Parcells could be a real SOB. And I'm sure there were players that got pissed off at him and there were players didn't like him, but a lot of them respected him because you know what? He knew overall when they performed, he was there. Tom Coughlin was another one. It was very controversial to some of the players, but you know what? He got results.
Yeah, but but you look at he was difficult on the players, but if you look at when the careers are over, how many of them credit Coughlin and Parcells for resurrecting the career or bringing out the best in them and all that stuff like.
And they've said that, by the way, they have said that. And the other thing about a guy like a Tom Coughlin or even Parcells, I said Parcells has his dark side and he's got things that I can tell you, personally, the things he's done that I saw that I would like, but like Coughlin, the other thing was you put out for him. That guy puts out for his players even after the game's over. He keeps in touch with his players and stuff like that.
So does Parcells do. Parcells is
that's true. He's another one that does.
He always keeps track of his players.
So he cared about the players and stuff, even though he was tough on them. And I think that's important too. And that's the kind of guys that I'd be looking for. I think Glenn could be one of them. You don't have to be a nasty person, but you do have to be tough to a certain extent. You don't have to be as sarcastic as Parcells was. You don't need to. I mean, Salah's right about one thing. You don't have to sit and be a martinet on the sidelines, although personally I'd like to see it. But you need to let them know that, hey, I'm looking at you. I care.
Yeah, but I mean, I disagree with that. I think that
what I mean is that
you have to have life on the sideline. You can't be all positive and then ignore when things are falling apart.
No, that's not what I mean.
Kind of back, maybe next time.
No, what I mean is like, for example, so take the classic things we've seen with the Jets. How many times a player makes a boneheaded play? Michael Clemens gets called for a stupid roughing penalty that was meaningless, or somebody does a stupid penalty that kills a drive, comes to the sideline. You don't have to be sitting there screaming and yelling at him. You go over to him and say, what the hell were you doing? You let him know about it. This is the thing. And that's, you have to show, if you ignore it, it's not going to go away, which was Salah's method.
That's what Salah did.
Now, I agree with you totally. By the way, I still love it, though. I love when coaches do that. I've seen coaches give a guy for 15 minutes on him when they screwed up royally on the sideline.
The thing is, like, there was like with Parcells, players were scared to walk back to the sideline when they fucked up because they're like, they knew you're getting to get that stare. Or even you see it in today's game, there's other players like Mike Tomlin holds guys accountable. The Harbaughs do. And there's different ways of doing it. You don't have to embarrass a guy, but you walk over and be like, listen, what you just did is unacceptable. You're out for 2 plays or whatever. Like, there's ways to do it and to be stern and fair. You don't have to be over the top. It's just fair.
If you ever watch Mike Tomlin, right?
I love Tomlin.
I love him because you know what? He's not really sitting there yelling and cursing, but he's got a look on his face. You just see him looking at the player and they know they screwed up.
Yep.
And he's interesting because remember before this year started, people were talking about Tomlin possibly being fired, which is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. There's a reason why they're that good.
No, the most ridiculous thing was there were Jet fans said they didn't want him. They're at prime time. No way we could take Tomlin. Like, what?
He's a great coach. I mean, the point is he's a true coach, and that's the thing. And he learned from people. There's a reason why Pittsburgh has had that whole chain, and I think it's there. And he let him know. It's why players play for him.
So what's your top three? Your top 3 candidates right now?
If I had my druthers on it, I told you Spagnuolo would definitely be at the top of my list, if possible. I don't even know if he's going to be a candidate.
So say a perfect world. You're 1, 2, and 3. Who is it?
Spagnuolo. Vrabel would probably be on the list. He's not my highest pick, but I would probably put him number 2 because of the cultural aspects. I think he's a down to earth. I think he'd be great.
And number 3.
And probably number 3 would be Monken.
There you go.
It's not that I'm against. People mention Flores. I like Flores. And if they hired him, I wouldn't be a problem with him. I wouldn't have a problem with it. The problem I have with Flores, what I worry about him, and I have no way of knowing this, but looking at the way he was as a coach, it's one thing to be tough. It's another to drive people away, and there's a fine line there. Yeah, but with all his OCs and everything else, can he put together a coach?
Look how many OCs friggin' Rex Ryan had.
I know. Well, you know what? Rex Ryan, right, was not but Flores had less time than Rex Ryan. I mean, Rex Ryan was there 6 years. So
I'm saying anybody that's been fired right now has some kind of thing. There's flaws. That's why all the general managers that have been fired right now, the guys that are interviewing now, they all have flaws. Like there's no perfect candidate.
The problem with that is it's because if he comes to the Jets, right, the offensive coordinator is going to be huge. Whether they have, because if they're going to have a young quarterback,
that's for everybody though. Aaron Glenn, the offensive coordinator, Mike Vrabel, Flores, all these guys. It's going to be.
Yeah, but I get it again with Flores' personality. I just worry about that. That's all. I had Tyson. I have no way of knowing. All I know is what's out there, which is crap. Most of it. you don't really know what
Dude,
happened.
I'm telling you, there are videos on YouTube that Brian Flores does, like coaching clinics like that are really, really interesting, man.
No, he's a bright guy. Look,
Yeah.
Flores is a bright guy. I think he's driven. He's a great defensive mind. I think the fact that he's doing good in Minnesota because his head coach is great. Kevin O'Connell is great there.
What kind of bird do you have?
Oh, it's a lovebird.
Oh, but wait,
Name's
prime time.
Charlie. It's a lovebird.
Prime time. We have a match for you here.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and whatever Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate.
You
Just
too,
enjoy
man.
the end of the year, and keep kicking.
Have a good
You too.
night,
Merry
man.
Christmas,
Take
man.
care, guys.
We will be doing. No, we're not going to do a show on Christmas Eve. Thursday night, 6
What?
o'clock. Dude, Christmas Eve shows?
No show. Wow.
Bro. First of all, coming from a guy that
I thought you guys had higher standards than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
coming from a guy that gave up on the show
Tuesday
2 months
night.
ago,
it's Tuesday night.
we haven't missed the show in a year. Every week for a year.
Oh,
I
you
don't
missed one
hear you.
last week.
No, we didn't.
Or 2 weeks ago, you said you didn't do
Nope.
one.
We just changed the days, man. Change the days.
Oh, I can't keep
We're
track.
not like NYJF. We're not like NYJF who just quit. When the going got tough, they got going. They quit. They retired. Back to back. They do half years. They don't do full years. They do half years.
Well,
And
the
then they do,
team is relevant.
then they do turtle videos. So the turtle starts losing. They get those gone too. Then they give up on those too.
I don't know what happened to the turtle videos. I'm kind of
Exactly.
worried about the turtle.
Jameson,
With some soup.
kind of call some was it the ASPCA? All right. So what did the Seahawks do yesterday? Did they lose yesterday?
Are you serious? Feel bad. I legitimately felt bad for Jose as I was watching that game. I'm like, damn, his season's gonna end to Sam Darnold. Like,
Well,
the guy.
couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Good evening.
Sam, I am.
Before I get started,
Uh-oh.
I have a special message from the missing third amigo.
The missing third amigo.
Tyrone.
You talked to Tyrone's gonna be on your show.
No, I talked to him on Twitter while I was waiting to get on here. He told me to give you guys and everyone in the chat a giant hug.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
man.
very nice.
He
So
should have
now,
come on.
so now he's speaking through Jose.
No, we were just.
Jose's his
Should have
messenger.
sent him the link.
I didn't know how to.
He may have more lights than primetime.
That's probably true.
Probably.
In his truck, he probably has more lights than I do.
So how are you feeling about the Sam Darnold experience, Jose?
I hated him at USC. I hated him when he was at the Jets. I think I hated him last night, and I still.
How come you didn't like him at USC? He was good there.
He would turn the ball over like crazy.
Just like
Made
with the
good
Jets.
plays to make up for it.
It just shows you what good coaching can do.
That's facts.
You mean Van
When Sam Darnold's a Giant next year, he can go right back to reality.
Don't
So are your playoff dreams killed because the Jets kept give you a problem with the Rams winning?
thanks, Aaron Rodgers. You good for nothing overrated. Oh,
Don't talk about my quarterback that way.
all right, yeah. He's just your quarterback.
Just his, not
Just
mine.
yours.
He's my quarterback for 2 more weeks, and he's out of here.
I am going down in a boat
No.
with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking let's go look at all the ships primetime has gone down with. He went down with the Fitzpatrick ship.
Whoa, no. That's factually that is incorrect. I still have the song on my other laptop of the song I made in 2016 supporting Geno Smith. I did not want to sign Fitzpatrick back after that first year. I
Well,
wanted Geno to take over. Everybody ignored me for that. I went down in the Sam Darnold ship. I was right on that
Oh,
one.
he went down on that one
So,
big time.
I'm just saying, usually when I get into these,
Well,
fits,
well.
usually I'm more right than I am.
guys,
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
to be fair, I went down on the Titanic. I went down on the Jamal Adams ship.
Jamal
He
Adams
did.
ship.
It did cost you 2 first-round picks.
Jesus.
That was a
The
rough
rap
ship.
battle.
God. I'm not drunk enough for that.
Me neither.
We'll do it during the Super Bowl again.
Another Super Bowl rap album?
Yeah. Oh, PT, I think, I mean, you want the same thing for Christmas. Got a couple.
I wouldn't mind that.
Tyson,
Yes, sir.
what do you get for Christmas? Because I know you're hard to shop for with you.
How am I hard to shop for? I'm easy as shit to shop for. Nothing Jets related. You're already winning with that.
So something with Lincoln.
It's like a bottle of booze, man.
Get him some new clothes for Legend.
Yeah, meet Legend. Yeah, he's down there just.
It's on the floor?
Legend's on the floor right now. It's not. He's down there
Guys,
just. Yes, sir.
guys, before I go, I would like to say Merry Christmas. God bless you. Guys, for always having me. God bless the chat for dealing with my crazy ass. Trying to understand half the things I say when I don't even know what I'm saying.
Me neither.
Half the-
This is a big fact. Legend does not do laundry. He doesn't do much around here,
Hey, Tyson,
and he eats a lot.
Tyson,
Yes, sir.
people are going to give you a hard time because of that comment now.
I don't care.
Hey, I'm just giving you a heads up. How dare you make fun of him? I can already see the messages.
I'm used to it.
But
Jose, have a great Christmas, man.
seriously, guys, thank you. Feliz Navidad. God bless you guys.
God bless you too,
Love
man.
you guys.
Merry Christmas,
Have a great
everyone.
holiday, man.
To you and your family. Merry Christmas.
All right, prime time. We made it. Hour and 40 minutes. Not too bad.
Isaac, yeah. Good calls tonight.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good calls tonight.
And then we get the nice break, nice Christmas break to just enjoy family and friends, get away from the stench of this football team.
For a few days.
And then we're back to getting pounded by the Bills on Sunday.
Can't wait.
So as we wrap it up, thank you guys for joining us once again. Happy Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. Enjoy your time with your family. Don't worry about the Jets. They're going to fuck it up anyway. Any final words to you, sir?
No, just enjoy your family time. Merry Christmas. Start the new year off right, but still got one more show until the new year. So yeah, enjoy your Christmases.
Oh, Christ, should we get one more? Oh, God.
Fortunately.
We'll talk to you guys later. I forgot about that. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Jesus, God.